Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity was produced by Shadow Effects Productions. Stainless Steel Emotions Music and Free Earth Radio Live.
Hi, I'm your president, and we're not going to build back better. We're going to build back later. But first, we got this message from the greatest earth-shattering documentary in the history of documentaries. We are introducing you guys to Flatten the Curve, and I'm going to give a thumbs up on that. Is that all I need to say? I can't read the teleprompter, but thank you and welcome to Hoodwinked. Thank you, Mr. Idiot, whatever your name is. Thank you guys and for joining me for another edition of Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity. That was not my president. It's someone's president, but it's not mine. But anyway, not into politics. Don't like any of them. Welcome to another edition of Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity. I am your host, Mark Hollanders. And tonight we are going to give you a preview of an earth-shattering documentary that's coming out called Flatten the Curve, and by our friend and your friend Vika Draziv. And it's I've know a couple of the cast members that actually have viewed the movie, and they are actually blown away. And thanks again for joining us, guys. Hoodwinked is brought to you by Shadow Effects Productions, Stainless Steel Emotions, and we are an affiliate of Free Earth Radio, which is located in San Diego, California. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, Ferret Radio Live. And we are also sponsor for Vika Draziv's new film, Flatten the Curve, and which has received several million views throughout all platforms. The 3 trailers that we have sent out is already. The movie's coming out at 2:22 p.m. on Tuesday, February the 22nd, 2022. So I think we have an affinity for the number 2, which is great, actually. Also want to give a special thanks to RTS. That is our new platform that is going to be a really remarkable channel. It's a truthy channel. It's completely uncensored. And but please give a shout out. And you guys go to real-truth-seekers-.com, and you will truly be amazed at not only the content, but the development of this channel that's really going to protect all of our content, our work that we worked years for and very hard. And a lot of guys are not just heroes of being able to spread the truth, but heroes as far as trying to protect the truth. And this is really a great moment for all of us. And please, guys, go to RTS, the platform, and it's simply remarkable. Also want to thank Ferret Radio for being a sponsor for Flatten the Curve. Also, Density Clothing, Truth Frequency Films, and we got, of course, True Earth, True Man. He's one of our backers. He's got a tremendous following on TikTok, which are almost right at 50,000 subscribers. And but anyway, guys, welcome to our show. And before I introduce my 2 guests that is actually part of the cast of Flatten the Curve, we are going to run the 4th trailer just to give you guys a little glimpse of what is to come within the next 48 hours. And Rick, if you want to roll that tape, Rick, and give us that preview of Flatten the Curve.
We don't have it yet. Give me a couple minutes, Mark.
Okay, it's not ready as yet, but we're going to, he's working on that. So, but without further ado, I do have 2 of the cast members, and I've actually spoken with one. We had a panel, and with several of the guys and the pilots, and I have Kevin Bobick with me. And Kevin, welcome to Hoodwinked, into the Age of Insanity.
Thank you. Pleasure being here. Thank you so much. It's been an honor for you even inviting me, like I said.
I appreciate that, and also have the one and only Merchant Marine, Mr. Francis Miller. Francis, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be on the show.
Well, thank you for coming on, guys.
Absolutely.
And again, if you're just joining us, Flatten the Curve is the film documentary will be out at 2:22 p.m. on Tuesday, which is actually February 22nd of the year 2022. And my first question,
Tuesday.
By the way, happy birthday, to Mr. Francis Miller.
Yeah,
his actual birthday is on a documentary. That was actually by design, Francis. Happy birthday.
I know, that's what God is great. And if you notice, like Tuesday is a Tuesday too.
Tuesday. I don't. Whatever was on Vika's mind was extraordinary. Thank you, Vika, for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Way to go, Vika.
My first question, and I want you guys in sequence to answer. I'm going to ask Kevin first, and Francis, and we're going to switch around here.
Yeah,
but Kevin, give us a little bit of a background with your, maybe your childhood, your high school, your achievements, and military or civilian background, if you don't mind.
No, thank you so much. I'll give you a little bit of my red pill history. I feel like that's what really means a lot to me. I always felt like there was something suspicious about the stars whenever I looked up to them as a young child. The movie The Truman Show always stuck to me so hard, and now I kind of realize why. I authentically feel I was meant to be in this movement for sure. I started doing meetups after a few years. I was awake, and I've continued to throw those meetups. I've slacked on them here and there, but I'm actually throwing a meetup / premiere for the Flatten the Curve documentary that's coming up. I'm doing it on the same date as the documentary drops, which is going to be on a Tuesday, February, which is the second day of the month, on the 22nd day of the month. So,
nice.
But I've been a part of the truth movement for a while. It's kind of what I'm really dedicated into. I'll continue to do it until the day I die. So I think that's kind of why I've been so effective towards it. But anyways, Mark, I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you so much for having me on the show yet again. So it was an honor. Sorry if I'm a little bit nervous this time, but it's really cool. It's really cool to be a part of something that's so big. You know what I mean? Like, this documentary is something that's non-censored, it's non-monetized, it's coming from people that have actually been in the experiences themselves, you know what I mean? So I just feel like, I don't know, well, I do know it's a huge honor to be a part of, and it just makes me a little intimidated to be a part of something that's so big. But shout out to everybody on the film, you know what I mean? Thank you so much, Francis Miller, for even joining us.
Thank you.
Shout out to you as well in your professional career, and you being a leader in your situation as well. I know it's not easy being a leader in the movement for sure.
Especially being on a ship going around the world, around the world.
going across the flat world, right?
Right. Everyone else thinks they're going around.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like the term going around the world.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, Francis, I'm asking that similar question as far as, give us a little bit about your early background and what got you interested in becoming a merchant marine. And then we're going to follow it up. Obviously, I have a few questions in mind, but give us a little bit of background on Francis Miller's life. And by the way,
I'm a military brat. I'm a military brat. My dad he was the chief in the Navy. My mom, she's worked for the government. She has a doctorate. She does psychology, and I've kind of always wanted to be a pilot, and that really didn't work out. And I ended up getting into the merchant marines. I was a lineman before. I did fiber optic cable construction on telephone poles, and I just, I wanted a career, and this career kind of just found me by chance, and it's been an amazing career. It's more of, I don't even look at it as a job. I live out here and I look forward to coming out. But what led me to the truth was a friend of mine a long time ago turned me on to the 9/11 conspiracies. And I was like, whoa, how did, and, you know, I kind of got into a couple of them, but my sister one day told me, she said, you ought to look into this flat earth. And I remember that I laughed at her like she was the stupidest person on earth. I said, you fool.
How long ago was that? Francis, what year was that? How long ago was that?
That was in 2015. I remember because Trump was running when this was all happening. I remember. And I went and I do a lot of RC, UAVs, and drones. And there's this one guy, you can look it up. It's called FPV to Space, Dragonwing. They send a drone up, you know, not to space, but they send about 80,000 feet up. And the GoPro gives the curve. And I went and showed my sister that. I was like, look, this is the curve. Yeah. And then I went there. And then I happened to had nothing to watch on YouTube, and I saw that little disc with the water pouring off. It said flat Earth, and I said, click, okay. And within 10 minutes of watching it, I was like, okay, whoa, this ain't adding up. And it was all downhill from there. And my mistake was I went and told everybody, you know, and they were like, what are you talking? I had no clue.
Well, you know, you just stole my thunder because that was my follow-up question is while you're at sea or your immediate family, and Kevin, this goes for you with all of us actually, how does that affect your relationships with because believe me, I got a big mouth. And when I first walked into the truth, and it was through the Nephilim, the giants, the hidden giants from the past. So it wasn't about flat Earth. It was about, well, why would the Smithsonian Institute lie about these giants? And then they answered their own question because then it proves the Bible to be authentically true. And at that point in time, I was like, whoa! I threw away my blue pills and it was looking for the red pills.
Absolutely.
And so, but now, Kevin, my question to you would be, you have a military background as well. Your family, one of your family members worked at NASA. Is that correct?
Yeah, my uncle still does. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't talked to him in a long time, but yeah.
And why he having you now? Does he understand where you're at as far as waking up from the other reality that we're all taught?
So the thing about me and my uncle's relationship is that we haven't talked in a long time, and I've always wanted to reach out to a lot of my old family members. But after I became awoke on the flat Earth, I started doing a lot of investigating and like people who I can interview and things like that. I don't know. I got to a point to where I felt sorry for him, to where if I would expose him, as of now, I don't care because the movement's already blown up quicker than it was perceived to. So, but I don't ask him about it because I don't want to ruin his career, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. There's respect from families and different levels to this, but he doesn't work for the space program specifically. So that's one reason I did not kind of intrigue him into me getting into an interview with him so I could pick his brain to admit him he's working for a lying agency, right?
Right.
So he's someone I haven't really reached out to in a long time, to be honest, just for family's sake, I guess you could say.
Right.
But my grandfather was, like I told you before, last interview, he's test pilot. He test flew the F-14, or was it the F-15? Not the F-16, not the recent one they're using. But my father, my dad, retired Master Sergeant Air Force. So I grew up a military brat as well, to be completely honest. My dad was smart enough and intelligent enough to steer me out of the military. He actually straight up told me not to join the military when I was young. So that's kind of the reason I never did. But I still have mad respect for the people that are military. You know what I mean? I grew up a military brat, so I always have to kind of subconsciously or consciously. But yeah, I haven't really reached out to my uncle too much, to be honest. I can. It'll make it fun, to be honest. But he works for the department in NASA were distribution of weaponry.
Right.
So he doesn't work for the direct space department. So that NASA, they have a lot of different departments. You know what I mean? They have a lot of different agencies. They're a corporate business. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? That gets funded by who, right?
Hey, Kevin, I would gather to suggest that the word compartmentalization came from NASA. At one point, they had 2,500 employees, but they might have had 50 different compartments.
Yeah.
And you may have 10 or 12 people per department.
Exactly.
Those 10 or 12 people don't know what the heck anyone else is doing. So
exactly. That's how they go ahead.
Which is really not just, it's a creative way to manipulate the masses. It's to keep everybody in a small bubble.
Yep.
It's genius. It's genius, in my opinion, like the way they've manipulated people through the same techniques that MK Ultra uses, which is trauma-based mind control. You know what I mean? They traumatize you, and then they control you with your emotions after you have an emotional attachment to that subject. You know what I mean? So same thing with Universal. They introduce their movies with a spinning ball, and then you watch a movie like Armageddon, you know what I mean, that you have an emotional attachment to. I'll probably cry that. I'll cry if I watch that movie right now. You know what I mean? That movie has an extreme emotional attachment to it. But the fact that they program you with a spinning ball to begin with programs you to your trauma-based mind control, which makes you believe in it without you even knowing it subconsciously,
it's
right?
always in the background. It's always there. They put a globe on everything. The world's, you don't even think about it, but it's just rock solid, always there.
Exactly right. And Francis, I'm going to ask you actually the same question. When you came into the truth back in 2015, I believe that was your sister. And obviously, you know, what I would recommend to most anyone would be, if you want to share truth with anybody, the most important truth of all is the word of God in Jesus Christ. There's no other bigger truth than that. But if you ever want to introduce that little door as far as the COVID stuff that they brought out, the moon landings or anything, the COVID stuff I wouldn't recommend at all, only because I think that number one, we'd lose our YouTube channel if we got
absolutely. And
we won't go there that much, but it's such a mass hysterical deception that a lot of folks worldwide are actually waking up to this deception. They're not waking up to the flat earth, but they all waking up to some of the lower tier lies. And I would recommend to anyone to go to that lower tier, you know, prove the moon landing hoax, because, you know, they destroyed, NASA destroyed the original tapes of the telemetry of the movies, 19,000 of them, and they try to recreate them with the age of the internet. So, but anyway, follow-up question, Francis, how did this affect you as far as when you came out? I mean, you on a merchant ship, I would stay away from the rails.
I would tell anybody, when you get exposed to the flat earth and you realize it, you're going to want to tell people, because you got to build your arsenal of truth, and you have to know how to present it to people. You got to have the knowledge to beat them to the punch, because they're going to have, all they try to do is stump you. They don't, most people don't even care to learn it. They're just throwing stuff out to stump you.
With insults. Insults and ridicule.
Right. And when I first got it, I'm telling everybody, but I just was like, oh, well, the planes, this, I just had kind of super circumstantial proof. And they're just like, you're mad. You're my family. You're crazy. This is I'd get on a ship and I'd try and tell people, oh, you're absolutely, I was that crazy guy. But through the years, since 2015, I have built it up, and now you can't argue me. You can only, the most thing I hear is, well, what does it matter? Well, what's the point? It's like, if you don't know who you are, where you are, what you are, why you could be controlled, you could be manipulated into anything.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a great point that you made. And if Rick's there, Rick, I sent you a picture through Skype because I know a lot of these type of people as well. You know, when you know the truth, but you still got to fit in. Hey, Rick, can you put that picture up?
When you know the truth, but you got to fit in. That's good.
If Rick's there, I sent him through Skype. He should be able to present that picture to us. It's an interesting way of presenting the truth, but still hide in your closet. Well, Rick, if you're there, please post that picture up, because I don't really want to show him. Hopefully, he can put it on the screen. But here we go.
That's a good one.
When you know the truth, you still got to fit in. You got that little bulldog with your skin on. So
that's good. I like it.
It's an interesting concept because we all know that. I got one of my best friends, Randy. I won't. Rick, no, he used to have a show on Ferret Radio called "Hunting the Flat Earth." And Randy Fish, he doesn't mind if I drop his name, but he was ex-Marine, but he knows about the lies. He's not going to get the magical potion, the jab. He knows that, but it took a couple of years for it to really sink in. And finally, last year or so, he goes, Mark, I think it is flat. But he doesn't come out with it. He doesn't. Right. He doesn't want that ridicule. He doesn't want
it. That happens to all of us, and they'll acknowledge it to you. I've got a couple friends like that too, but it took a long time to get it. And what happens is you can give them all the proofs and show them all the things, but what happens is it's just one thing that they see on their own, because they got to come up with it on their own. They got to see it for themselves, and then they'll come up. My one buddy told me, he's like, I was looking at the moon, and I saw the sun over here, and there was a shadow on the moon, and the earth is down here. How is it making a shadow? And he's like, that's it. You got me.
Right. Right.
I also got another one of my friends that, because we're at sea and we see shooting stars, the sky is like you can reach out and touch it when you're at sea. There's no pollution. And you will never see a shooting star come up from the horizon. And if we're whirling and twirling and spinning, they should come from every direction. But they never come straight up or from the side. It's always over. And that
exactly right.
Yep.
So we are. And then Crane is on the moon and stuff. Everything's hit the moon at a 45-degree angle, which would make it absolutely impossible.
Right. Inverse square law light.
Where the trail's at.
What was that?
Where the trail's out when it comes to the craters on the moon to begin with.
Yeah, where the crash. There's nothing.
And then if the moon is facing the same side of the Earth every day, the craters must have came from Earth at a 45-degree angle.
Right. That's a good one. I never.
That's perfect, actually. So we're going to try to run that tape. I'm just going to ask Rick to produce who's got that tape ready.
Francis Miller's laughing. I love it.
That's a good one.
No, of course. Take it wrong.
It's stuff like that I get the guys out here with. I just had a visual sighting of a mountain when we were coming up. We were coming from Washington down to Oregon, and I saw this huge mountain. I was like, what is that? I went up to the bridge, and I got the binoculars. I tried to get it on the radar. I couldn't find it, but I let the mate look at it. I let him see that you could see the whole mountain, right? And then I went back. I found it was Mount Olympus, and it was 35 miles inland, 36 miles inland, and we were 73 miles out on the water. So it's like 106 miles. 5,400, I could be wrong, somewhere 5,400 feet should have been missing, and we saw the whole mountain. I wish I got it on video. I was working.
I actually saw a picture of it. Absolutely beautiful shot that you sent, and which is Flatten the Curve. Hey guys, we're gonna have a little preview, Flatten the Curve.
Awesome.
You guys, we're gonna take a couple moments and we're gonna view the last trailer 2 days before the earth-shattering rock Flatten the Curve. Give it a watch. We have audio issues still.
Was there a fourth preview dropped?
Rick, we're having audio issues. Here we go.
Book your perfect place to stay.
Yeah, we can't hear, buddy. The document, there's no audio. Can you hear me? All right, got audio issues. All right, guys, we've had audio difficulty getting any sound. I don't know if you guys, I know I'm hard of hearing, but I didn't hear anything. And,
No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's fill in the blanks.
well, so anyway, you go to realtruthseekers.com, and of course, Final Third is going to be in every platform that you can think of: Rumble, Gab, Facebook, YouTube. It's all going to be there. But anyway, thank you guys, and apologize for that audio difficulty. And my next question would be: this is going to be directed to Francis first. When given the excitement of your coming out party back in 2015, when you started saying, okay, after that latest Eric Dubay video, oh my goodness, I need to go shout out to the highest rocket tops of the mountains. And
Right.
Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. We started again.
Let's try it.
Why, you got the video, the audio? You got the audio good on the video? You want to try it one more time, Rick? Okay. We're just going to, here we go. Let's see if we got the problem solved.
Happy birthday, Francis Miller.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of
Yeah,
course,
it's
of
the best
course.
birthday gift ever.
Yeah, I know, right? I was kind of
Yeah.
nervous getting on today, dude. I'm usually not nervous, but it's extremely cool having you on the show as well.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Happy birthday, buddy. All right, we're just going to move on, Rick. Don't even worry about the video. If you can get it running, that's fine. Here we go. Hopefully, we can get this thing started with some audio. Here we go. Let's do it. put your cursor right at that middle
Nope,
button.
sorry, guys.
Red button. Just here we go. Let's do it. Still nothing. We're just going to move on with the show. Hey,
Go
guys,
ahead.
again, sorry for the difficulty. Rick just annexed that, and we're going to continue with the show.
Please.
Doesn't look like we're going to get it. So anyway, we apologize. So that kind of puts a suspense even at a higher level. So happy birthday, Francis Miller. His birthday is going to be coming on. It doesn't look like we're going to get this show yet. Here we go. We're going to try one more time, Rick.
There's a one authentic picture, a shaped spinning ball.
God. Unbelievable. They're
Did
trying
they use Eric
to
Dubé's?
from watching.
Did they use Eric Dubé's audio?
Don't know.
Definitely a teaser trailer.
All right. We've anyway, we're going to continue on. Rick just completely dislodged that from this conversation because it doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight, but that's okay. We're only a short 40 hours away from the real thing. So, guys, just look it up. It's going to be on all platforms. The trailer number 4 to Flatten the Curve, the movie documentary. And I got 2 of my great guests on, Francis Miller and Kevin Bobick. And we're going to continue on here. And again, we apologize for that glitch in our broadcast, but what the heck? We're going to have a kick in the butt anyway. All right, Francis, this question is to you. If you continuing on as far as when you first received that truth, getting away from your artificial reality that we are taught in schools, that we that's on the mainstream television, all this alien garbage, Hollywood stuff. How initially, how did that impact your life? Did you just move on with it? And I don't care if you call me nuts, or did you back up a little bit and say, whoa?
No, I streamed it to any person I could tell, anybody I could tell, any way I could fit it into a conversation. It was like I was programmed in my DNA to, once it hit me, that was it. I was telling anybody who could listen. And it kind of got me, my close friends, oh, here he goes. He's going on a tangent again, But like I said, as time got on, I got tired of always telling people, because then I would just go on this. I would be able to have this whole tag go all night talking about it. But after a while, I was like, I need to select who I tell it to. Most people are receptive to it, and now I have ways of telling everybody. But I'm like a prowler, and I wait for the right time, and I hit them with the truth. It's really good. It's fun, actually.
Yeah. It actually has become more fun because you almost, I tell them all the same thing, Kevin. I said, you know what? I need some more new conspiracy theories because my old ones have been coming true. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not into mysticism. But I am into truth, because when you escape from the matrix, I'll use that word, you throw away the blue pill and you say, where's my red pills at? There's a way to red pill people. And that's when you ask, our Lord and Savior, hey, you know what, God, I can't do this by myself, because the truth is so hot. It's almost like trying to pick up a piece of firewood that's on fire. It's hot to handle. You have to ask God to put the right person, put the people that are going to be receptive to my truth in front of me. And I know that God will put the right people that are willing to learn and get, maybe it's just a little seed in their head and they see something later. They don't have to get it every time. It's just, I tell them, I'm putting a seed. It's your you need to water it. And if you don't want to water it, it won't grow. But you got to water it. Kevin, this question also would, if you can sort of just give us, from an outside perspective in a platonic way, how has it affected, your beginning coming out party to where you're at now? How did people respond to that? Your close family members and your friends. How did you handle it then? Were you over the top, and now you're kind of like being a prowler and saying, waiting for that right time to plant that seed, Kevin?
Well, many are called and few are chosen. You know what I mean? So few are chosen to hear this truth to begin with. So just like Francis Miller said, you know what I mean? You have to be careful on who you approach this to. If you approach it to the wrong person with as much, with me, with as much dogmatic approach that I have, then it's going to be kind of hard hearing. You know what I mean? But if you approach the right people at the right timing, then of course you're going to have the right approach and the right effect. You can plant seeds, you can let them grow, you can lead them to knowledge and make them think. You can lead a donkey to water, but you can't make them reach. So it's on the approach, and a lot of people are so beyond their propagation mindset that it's kind of hard to distinguish who to approach. But once you've had enough discernment and you know how to talk about it, and you know the psychological effects, and you know how to approach people psychologically to begin with, that makes a huge approach on how you affect the people. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm a speaker. I like going on stage. I like affecting the masses. At the same time, a lot of my friends that mean a lot to me, you know what I mean, that my family that mean a lot to me personally, it's harder to reach out to them than it is easier to go on stage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I can go on stage, and I love going on stage. It's kind of what I've been gifted for. But getting into the psychological mindset of the people that aren't affected by it and don't know why, that's something you have to dig deep about and know how to approach them. Like Francis Miller said, you know what I mean? You have to have a way to approach them and not just being like, oh, hey, I'm know-it-all. I'm the guy that thinks he's the shit and this and that. You know what I mean? No, forget that, dude. Go to the origins, find out where this came from and why and when and how. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go to Jesus Christ every time just because he is the way, the truth, and the light. He's been my light for a long time. But if I can show that light with the intelligence that I've been blessed with, then that's awesome. That's awesome. I will completely do that with his calling and his respect, though. So people find out, oh, yeah, Earth is flat. Earth is flat. That's awesome. You realize you're created. You realize that the world doesn't revolve around you, but the sun, moon, and stars do.
Right.
Know who creates that. Know who creates that.
That's it. And just on the basis of what you, me, and Francis have been talking about the last 10 minutes is, be grateful that God has allowed you, me, and Francis to see what is actually unfolding.
Exactly.
Others that are asleep are not so lucky. Ask yourself, why you? Why them?
You're called if you were chosen.
Every single day, and it shoots my faith and confidence through the roof, sky high. Yeah. You've been chosen. Make no mistake about that.
Absolutely. I like to think of it as the graduating class. We are the varsity class. We you know what I mean? We're here to we're the graduating class. Right. That's why we've been awakened, because we got to wake people up, but at the same time we all can feel that something's coming, and this is going to be our way to discern on what our own destinies and our own whatever happens. It's going to give us
remember that too much is given, much is expected.
Exactly.
You got to remember this, that being a leader, one of the things that I needed to do with my own life, I can't speak for both of you, is I was way over the top. A lot of your family members become strangers, and a lot of strangers become your family members.
Yes, sir.
Once you enter that realm and you think you can do it alone, you're going to fail every time. I couldn't do it without praying for discernment, praying to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, I would have lost it all because of my own. Oh, you think you know it all? Oh, I think you're out of your mind. Let's go get you committed or whatever. And they didn't say it, but I can see where people take that truth and go overboard of it. And I say, Lord Jesus, just please give me at a level where you want me to be at, not where I want to be at.
Right.
Where
keep it grounded.
Be at.
His ways are not your ways, Mark.
Right. Amen. You're right.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, man.
So, but listen. Besides the technical and the audio difficulty we had, you know, Francis. I kind of figured. I said, well, we had something yesterday, and when I heard from Francis, Kevin, I said, man, this is great. Then I said, wait, you want to come on 30 minutes before, Kevin, or 30 minutes after? I said,
Thank you, Francis. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it together.
Yeah, awesome.
We just pulled into Long Beach today in the morning.
Definitely been a pleasure being on with you here. Mark, if you don't mind giving me if I give a shout out.
Absolutely.
All right. So first and foremost, I'm gonna give a shout out to Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the light. He's been my light in this truth movement the entire time. So, like I said before, if you're gonna find out who's done this research and who's realized that this is created and you are meant to be on this realm, you might as well do enough research to find out who created it, who did it for a reason, right? Jesus Christ was created before the sun was even created. The way, the truth, and the light. If you know about the light, then you can perceive the truth to begin with. That's the bigger deal when it comes to this in this movement. A lot of people are distracting themselves with the flat earth movement and not realizing who created it and why. That's why I'm a part of this movement, and why I've been so much is because I'm representing something that's bigger. It is the flat earth movement, yes. It debunks every atheist ideology to begin with. At the same time, but who created it and why? And who sent down their one and only son to die for things that we did? You know what I mean? That's the bigger truth movement over flat earth, hands down, north, south, east, west. If you're going to believe in the truth, accept all of it. Don't be a diet truther and just accept some of it and just some of it that fits into your ideology. Do you know what I mean? So first off, shout out to Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the light to begin with, because that's where the origins come from. I'm going to give you guys everyone that's listening right now, I'm going to give you guys a hack that has helped me to decode every truth that I've ever gone into, hands down, north, south, east, west. Go to the origins. If you guys are confused about some things, go to the origins. Right. The origins always represent the truth and always expose the truth, right?
Amen. Yes.
Go to the origins of the heliocentric model. Go to the origins of how Earth started spinning. Go to the origins of Earth's curvature. You will find the truth every single time. That's what you have to do. But if you go deeper, like I do, find out the way, the truth, and the light, and who created it to begin with for a reason to begin with. So making you realize that, yes, you are created. And you have specific indirect and direct a reason to believe in what you do and how. But other than that, I have to give a shout out to, of course, Mark. Thank you so much, Mark Hollander, for having me on your show yet again. Francis Miller, happy birthday. Thank you so much for having me on as well. Thank you for even sharing this interview with me. Shout out to Vic Draziv, of course. I have to give him a shout out every time because he's head honcho on this show, and he kind of, not this show, but specifically, but the head honcho of the documentary. And he put a lot of time, energy, and effort behind this. I don't know if you guys really know, but I talked to him quite a bit. And this guy's put a lot of time, energy, and effort behind this movement. And I have to give him shout outs on that as well, including people like Tyler McKenzie. He actually made the audio on the documentary as well. Shout out to my friends like Philip Munson. That's admitted to me. He is a flat earther due to my experiments, but he won't admit that publicly, so I just did for him.
But he's like my friend Randy. He's a bulldog in sheep's clothes. He's got
exactly. Yo, check it out, Mark. He went and did some deep research, and he's a deep researcher as well, just like I am. He exposes child trafficking. He exposes. We actually went to Zorro. What is it called? Zorro Road. This is the same place that, what's his name? The guy who was trafficking all the people. What's his name? I don't even like remembering negative things. Epstein.
Epstein.
So Epstein actually has a ranch over here in New Mexico. I'm not sure if you knew that. My friend threw a protest at that ranch, ringing his gate's doorbell, saying, "Hey, let us in. Let's see what's going on." He flew a drone over to his campus and realized, or his campus, like he owns a college. Forget that guy. He ran a drone over to Zorro Road and seen his entire mansion, and then seen a red car come out and come follow him. So I have people to give dubs of that to as well, because I'm deep in the truth movement. Shout out to Philip Munson yet again. Francis Miller yet again. Happy birthday. People like Gail Todd, you know what I mean, that give me shouts out and get merchandise, which is something I'm not really about making money upon. I really like just making us look good. So shout out to
all
Density.
right. We'll get Density Clothing, guys. They're one of the major sponsors for this Flatten the Curve documentary, and in fact, I'm wearing one of your shirts right now, buddy.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Flatten the
I'm wearing a
Curve.
jersey.
There we go.
This is a jersey from the Flat Earth soccer team.
Oh, that's badass.
I actually got this in Santiago, Chile. This was a gift from Nico.
Yeah, I love that shirt, man.
Yeah, I like
Absolutely.
that.
And thank you, Kevin, for coming on. And we are going to be setting the standards, not us, but God has given us the ability just to use us as his messengers. And I think this documentary is going to be one for the ages, and it's going to make a lot of people forget about those mockery documentaries from the past. And Francis, who you want to give a shout out to? Thank you so much for coming on. Happy birthday! So, what, you're 31 years old? Huh, buddy?
Oh, hey, I'll be 40. I'll be 43.
43. All right, buddy. You look great for 44. Happy birthday! And Francis, any special shout outs you want to give, or how?
Definitely Beacon for putting me in the film.
We can get in touch with you because you're always at sea. But any shout outs you want to give before we exit the show?
Just to Vika for putting me on to it. He saw some of my Facebook posts that I had, and he must have looked at my page and saw I was a merchant marine, and he contacted me, and that was about 11 months ago. And yeah, I really thank him. Thank you, Mark, for having me on. Kevin, definitely this is my first. This would be my first actual live podcast. I've watched many of them, you know. Also, like a couple other channels I watch, like Glowbusters and those channels. I really, really appreciate it. They do a lot to just help me, you know, get other information, and any other YouTube channels that are out there that are just putting the truth out there. You know, I really appreciate what you do, because, you know, you're not making any money on it, and it takes time to make those videos, I know, and I get a lot out of them. So anybody just doing the truth work I give a shout out to them.
Well, you know, the greatest thing, the greatest truth of all is Jesus Christ. But you know what?
Absolutely.
We've been provided with one of the greatest gifts that we'd be able to spread to each other, our fellow man, our friends, enemies, family, strangers, is the gift of love. And when you love first, understanding, just being able to love your fellow human being, respect them. And if you don't get it back, just move on. You know what I mean? You don't want that low-hanging fruit anyway. You know, you want to just move on. But that's part of the evolution of being able to spread the truth of our reality, is doing it through love and doing it through the wisdom and the knowledge that God will let you present it with.
If I can add, I think by me coming out and telling everybody before I even had a picture of it, or I could, you know, articulate it properly, I got a lot of ridicule and I took a lot of hitting, but it allows me to now, you know, move on. It take nothing to heart when somebody, you can call me anything. Like I said, I work on ships, and I tell people this: you have to be the most maddest man on the ship to tell people it's flat. But
just stay off the rails. Don't go near the rails. I don't want to lose that.
I'll show you a picture here.
Yeah, look at it, guys. There's a merchant ship that Francis is working presently. And my goodness gracious. Yeah,
that's a tanker.
Man, I thank you for coming on. And guys, we're going to end the show with this. You know, we love you guys. Please, when you get a chance, like this video, subscribe to Ferret Radio. Thank you for listening to another episode of Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity. I love you guys. Can't wait for the film. Happy birthday, Francis.
Thank you again, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
God bless you guys. My name is Mark Hollander. Take it away, Rick.
There's not one authentic picture of this blade shaped spinning ball that they claim we live on. Sorry to tell you, the only thing in space is your imagination. There is no such thing as space. For thousands of years, all ancient civilizations knew the Earth was flat. Until 500 years ago, they took the Word of God and they turned it upside down. They said, no, we revolve around the sun. The sun's in the middle, and we're spinning through space and wobbling with the sun at over 600,000 miles per hour. When an organization of pseudoscientists tell me to go completely against what all my senses tell me, that we're stationary and flat, I see it's flat. It's immovable. And I'll go outside. When I send a camera up without GoPro or fisheye lens, when I send a balloon up 100,000 feet and it shows the horizon flat, I can't go against that. When I see skylines 60 to 100 miles away, when spherical geometry says they should be behind the curve, all this stuff isn't adding up. There's not one authentic picture of this oblate, pear-shaped spinning ball that they claim we live on. I'm sorry to tell you, the only thing that's been to space is your imagination. There is no such thing as space.
You guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
what?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories. Well,